Welcome to the overview of the strategy and simulation game. This is the top level menu. Basically, students can see the components of the game. They can also use the tabs along the bottom, but this gives a sense of the three stages that we work through. Probably the easiest way to start explaining the game to students is to go to market size forecast. Just flicks us over here to market size. And basically this provides us with a positioning map, perceptual map, and basically this is in round one, and we have a map that runs from low quality to high quality, and from basic style up to very stylish. So typically I suggest that this is a fashion product, clothing, shoes, could also be a car, could also be furniture. It could be a variety of things. It really doesn't matter. But our goal is to work out how we can maximize money, given this is the configuration of demand at the start of the game. So basically down here we have people who are happy to want low quality and fairly basic looking products. Up here we have virtually the opposite. That's the center of another target market. High quality, very high quality and quite attractive products. Here they're happy to trade off fashion for quality and in terms of cost structure there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 market segments. Okay, they can position outside of that any variation, but as they move away from the center, you can see that the level of demand is decreasing. So this is base level of sales. That's the total market size at the beginning of the game. Scroll down and we have 8 rounds, and I'll just go to round 8 where the market evolves. And at the end you can see we've still got the 4 segments. The market size has doubled, and the segments have all moved upwards to the right. So this one's here, it's now here. Fashion is there, they want the best fashion. Mid-range quality, these people still want the best of everything. And here is our sort of everyday type work clothes and business clothes. We want decent quality, and it's got to be just acceptable looking. Okay, so that's a good place to start. We'll go back to the menu. We can click around anywhere here. Basically, the students might want to look at rules and information. This is the decision sheet that you would print out and give to groups. It gives you them all the rules. Minimum price, for example. There's only 3 decisions they actually have to make, even though the game is very complex. We've got a price decision. The minimum price that they can have is $20. And the maximum is whatever their brand equity score is. So they get a brand equity of 80, then that's their maximum. Sales promotion goes up each round. The most that they can have in round 1 is 50,000. By round 8, it progressively goes up by 50 or 100,000, and that's given in the game restraints, as they will find. And basically, initially the market is empty. There are no competitors. So a small amount of sales promotion is effective. Over time, the market gets very used to sales promotion, becomes less responsive, so you have to spend more money. Companies will have more money over the course of the game. And these two here, price and sales promotions, relate to all their products. So we set one price for all our product set, and we have one sales promotion contribution. So basically, as a manufacturer, we're providing product off to a retailer. So we say, hey, this is our brand, up to 10 products, and this is the price you're going to pay us. Okay, so the various rules are repeated there. The other decision they have to make is products, and these cell numbers and letters refer to that the market size I just showed you. And they work out where they were, where they want to move to. This helps them budget. The spreadsheet does that for them as well. And then they can work out their budget. So this part here would be printed out. Underneath we've just got some basic information to say, hey, if you're developing a new product, which you have to at the start, all products basically start here. They're low quality, not very attractive, and as you want to develop a new product, bring it to market, the higher the quality of the product in the first instance, the more expensive it is to develop. Okay, so products out here are very, very cheap to develop. High quality, high fashion products are significantly more expensive. Once a product's in the marketplace, it stays there ongoing, but firms can reposition. They will need to do that because the target markets are changing. And here you can see each cell there is a $20,000 extra. Here, for each cell they move, it's a $10,000. So it's more cost effective to move existing products. And basically they would probably need a platform of products initially and then work around repositioning and adjusting. The other piece of information on this one is the unit cost. So as you develop higher quality products, they cost more to produce. And as you can see up there, that's a unit cost of $50. Down here, they're $10 or so. If a company had a bunch of products in that space, then the average of those numbers, around $45, would be the average of their products. Okay. They also may want to look at this one about consumer behavior, because we've got 4 target markets. They make decisions differently. There are 4 factors in play. I just come across here. Factors of quality. Obviously, the quality in this case is the combination of fashion and quality itself. So up here, this quadrant here is the highest quality products you can have. Brand clarity, the consistency. So if a company has 1, 2, 3, 4 products together, they have a lot of brand clarity. The brand is very clear. If they've got one here and one over here and one down there, scattered around the map, consumers can't get a sense of the brand. It's high quality, it's high fashion, it's low quality. It's, they don't really know what's going on. So the clarity score is reduced. The third one is price index. This is a relative price to the value of the brand. So we work out brand equity score. Say you're 80 and you charge the maximum, which is $80. That consumers go, well, yeah, that's about the right price. Not a great deal. If you're charging $40 for a brand that's worth $80, consumers go, well, that's fantastic. I love that. I will buy more of that. And that they give the price index score quite high. And ongoing level of sales promotion, which builds up over time. It has a factor that accumulates and has a residual in the memory of consumers. So they're the 4 factors. So depending on the target market, up here you can see brand quality, very, very important if you're going to compete in that end. Brand clarity, this is the more the fashion end, from low up to reasonably high quality. So clarity is important if you're going to compete here. Obviously, price value, the lower the quality, they become price-oriented consumers. And then these ones over here is what deal do we have? These are buying on price, these are buying on fashion and clarity. So in the middle here we have a bunch of people who are quite responsive to sales promotions. Each of these cells add up to 100%, so it gives you a sense of how the decisions are made. Look, if you're the only product in a particular cell, you have a monopoly. You're the only game in town, basically, and you win whatever sales are available. If you compete, if there's 2 products in the same cell, which there will be, because there's 10 companies, they have up to 10 products. We're going to have 100 products in the marketplace potentially in the course of the game, so it becomes very cluttered. So the way it works is there's a score for each product, each set of products, based on quality, clarity as index things. It's then compared to any competitor that's in the same cell and goes, okay, that's their scores. And then it says, how important are these? So basically, we have 50 points of quality, but it's only worth 10 in that. That's consumer behavior. Only worth 10 there, so that's 5 points. They get 2.5, so that's 2.5. I've just rounded it to 3. It still calculates. It still calculates at 2.5. It's just rounded there. They outperform us on clarity. They've got double the clarity. It's very important. They have 16 extra points there. About the same on relative price, and they have some slight advantage on promotion. So basically, in that cell, they get 60 to the marketplace, 61 points of value. We have 47. So combined, the market sees 108 points of value, and we just work out the share of that. So this is the base sales. If the market is elastic, so if we have pricing below the brand, we will bring extra sales in. The key part of where they'll operate is in the planning sheet and the decision time. Just to show you, I've just added some, this is the decision sheet, and I've just added some numbers here, some decisions to get going. Basically, we only need to decide how many products we have. This is round 1, so it hasn't filled up too much yet. We just put a letter in there and a number, so we're going to go into D9. We set a price, and we set a sales promotion. So again, there's only really 3 or 4 decisions. How many products do we have? Where are they going to be placed? What's our overall price? What's our overall promotional support? Everything else is calculated for them, and it gives them an okay if the budget's okay. So there's safety nets built in. So let's say I add that product, A10, and suddenly the spreadsheet will say, hang on, that's 640,000. You only have $500,000 to start with. Your budget is over. You need to recheck your decision. And brand equity in this case is only 73.67, but we're pricing at 74. So your actually price is greater than brand equity. So it brings up errors. You see everything else is listed as okay. So I'll just undo those 2 decisions. Okay. So they're all built there. In round 1, we've got 50,000 of sales promotion. So that'll go in, but if we try to make it 60,000, it'll say, hang on, that's too much. So everything is sitting there as a safety net. Okay, so with those decisions sitting there, I've just made them up. I'll go back to show you what the students will see. This one here, Perceptual Map of the market. This shows where every competitor in there. So over here we've gone into D9, for example. So that's us sitting there in D9. Let's make that a little bit smaller to see. And then over there it shows us just the size of that. So D9 is a 10,000 point cell that we're in, and all of these is obviously free and available. Okay, so it shows you that, and that'll update each round. Okay, so they can see where they are. And if they want to look at a particular competitor, they go here. That's obviously us at D9. Round 2 hasn't happened yet. And you can see, Team 2, they went there. Team 3 there, down there. Team 4, etc. So that's under targets, which is this one here. And that's our map. So that becomes quite handy. Okay. Going forward, we'll use the planning sheet, but I'll just show you the financial outcomes and the charts that are being produced. So this is round 1, just making that a bit smaller again. So this is produced every round. So this is total sales numbers. Then we've got unit share, the sales of our best product. Okay, we've only got one product at the moment. They've got obviously two, etc. But the prices, so you've got all this competitor information, very rich. The sales multiplier. So we're pricing very close to brand. Some of these others are getting a sales benefit by discounting. Obviously that affects their margin. We've got one of the best margins there. So usually there's a trade-off. As you can see, they're close to the brand price as well. Their margins is quite good. But these ones who've got, a good multiplier, they're impacting their margin. So we've got this sort of sales turnover trade-off scenario. Then sales revenue market share, price premium. Obviously we're above the marketplace at $74. These ones are well below. Cost structure, and obviously the key number here is profit. So they're the most profitable firm. Firm one's done okay, and they've not done too well. But keep in mind, early on we're building products that will carry through the game. So early profit is probably not a good indicator. Sales revenue early is a good indicator. Profit really is based on what you're investing. Then they got the breakdown of costs of moving. Each product they have costs them $5,000 to have. Obviously they've got 3 products. Sales promotion. So again we've got this side-by-side comparison. Profit for the round, ranking, and accumulated profits and budget. So that becomes the budget for next round. So this team is well placed. They've got $800 to spend. This team basically won't have that. But if we go to our rules and information, which is here, teams start with 500,000 points to spend on their budget, and it goes up to maximum with a minimum of 200. So if I go back to the outcomes, this team here will have 200,000 to spend, and this team will have an extra 800,000 to spend, so they have a significant advantage going forward. Okay, back to the menu items, dashboard of key results. This is a series of graphs. I mean, they haven't started to populate yet because we've only got one round of numbers, but these will fill out as rounds go. And you've got all the teams listed there. So I've got sales, profits, brand equity score, numbers of products, average sales, etc. And this is the metric for winning the game. So basically who makes the most money over time. And then there's market shares by, this is quadrant, so the top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, as presented. And I've just given the names. That's the fashion segment. That's simply the best segment. The budget segment and work and sport segment there. So you can play around with those. That's fine. Okay, so what teams would do once they've got all that information is they've seen where everybody is. They know what's going to happen next semester, next round, and then they go into here. Okay, so we're going to be team 1, and we're going to go into team round 2. So we set that to 2, and you can see that is all populated for us, and it gives us a summary of strengths and weaknesses. So if we are better than the average in the marketplace, this is not against competitors, but the average score, we get an S, which is good. If we're equal or worse than, it's a weakness. So you can see we've got 10,000 in sales, average team's getting 13, so that's not good. Price, and that's sort of an averaged out across the products depending on volume of each product. We've only got one price at the moment. So our price won't be weighted, but these ones are weighted because there's multiple players out there. So you can see we're above, so that is considered a weakness. So I've got a whole bunch of metrics here where we produce this. So sales and financials, how we're traveling, So we've got a few concerns. Market shares, obviously we're not doing well on market share anywhere, but we've got a price premium. We've got how many products we have. Most teams have close to 2. We doing well on overall, not doing well on sales in terms of overall, but in terms of sales per product, we're doing well because we've only got 1 product. Okay, and then we've got have we improved? Okay, so that hasn't populated yet because it's early in the game. And then we've got our various index scores, which is a key part of what we're looking at. So it gives them the strengths and weaknesses straight away. Over the side, there's a couple of graphs that are produced on here as well. Then we go, okay, where are we? And it shows us where we are. Okay, where are all the competitors? So everything is brought into this particular sheet. Do we have any direct competitors where we are? That's us. There's no other direct competitors that we worry about. Okay, what's going to happen next round? Okay, so it just brings that in. And then we work out, well, okay, we were at $74. And we're at D9. Let's just have a look at what we would do. So let's just assume we're going to stay in D9. Okay, and there's no other competitors that we're expecting to go in there. So we're going to keep that product there. Everything is populated for us. We haven't spent anything on sales promotion. And underneath here, it gives us what our forecast profit is. So let's say we keep everything the same. That's going to be our profit for the coming round if we don't do anything different. Now, obviously, there are opportunities in the marketplace. So let's just say we want to bring in a new product, C9. We're not expecting any competitors. You can see that profit's reduced because there's a cost to develop and build that product. What would happen if we supported it with a little bit of sales promotion? Put that in. Okay, and you can see that that's dynamically changing. So companies can sort of play around with, okay, what's the best thing for us if our forecast is right? What if you can see our brand equity's gone up because we've got an extra product there. What if we made that 80? What would happen? Oh, not as good. You know, what if we went down to 70? Oh, that's better. Okay, so we can play around with these scenarios to basically come up with a good forecast. Okay, that then tells us where we'll end up, our 2 products, and then basically the breakdown of that 417, which is here, how that is split between the products, the various costs, basically a forecast outcome for us, provided we have predicted that. For example, say a competitor comes in, we're going to be well out. If there's no competitors, if we predict competitor activity, that number will be spot on. If we get that wrong, and we don't know that's going to happen, our numbers are going to be well out. So some teams could be able to forecast very precisely. And then down the bottom here is, are we getting better? So this is a good tool for when you go around in groups, having a look at the various students and say, okay, what decision you're going to make. You know, okay, how much you're expecting to make up here, fantastic. And are you getting better? So this is saying, are you improving? The only one that's not improving is brand clarity, because we had 1 product, we now have 2 products, so diluting that a little bit, and our margins coming back a little bit. Everything else looks very, very positive. Okay, now I've gone into the decision sheet again. This time round 2. Now round 1 we leave that, we don't change that, that decision's been made. There are our decisions for Team 1, D9, C9, $70 and $75. And I've just made up some other decisions for the other teams. As you can see, we've got all the OKs happening. So then we go straight to results. And this is round 2. So this is the graphs underneath. So basically, this is our team here. 28,000 in sales, units, and then a net profit of 417. Now if we go through our plan, we were expecting 417, so those numbers match up. So if we get that precisely, we are good. And we come down here to forecast. We're forecasting 27,916, and in terms of sales, so you can see that. So that planning sheet matches exactly. That's hypothetically. Let's change this one here. Say another team went into C9. You can see when we go to the results, our sales are dropped from almost 28,000 to 21, 22, and you can see our profitability is now only 246. We go back into plan because somebody went into C9 and we didn't predict that. If we did predict it, we can see 253. Versus an actual of 246. So that number is not as precise. It's very, very close. It's within $10,000. The difference is that in C9, the competitor has obviously a superior offering to us and has outperformed us in that particular cell a little bit. Okay. Now if we go into the dashboard now, we can see that the graphs are starting to populate. Okay, so we can see everything's happening there. Obviously, we've got this dot means that they've just entered that particular segment there. This one here I haven't showed you. Profitability shows us without a lot of the costs in here, just the profit of each product, so we can see which products are performing well, which ones aren't. So this one we would want to protect, this one we can improve, and likewise they've got 3 products, but they're all low profit products. So it allows the teams to start looking at where they can improve. We go back to the planning sheet. It is now round 3. So as I change that, everything is updated. We're going to round 3, and everything is now brought up to date. Strengths and weaknesses is redone. You can see how we're progressing. We've got the 2 products there. The marketplace is filling up. We've got our competitor there, which is listed here. So that's a product we might want to look at. Where is the market heading again? And then we work out, okay, what are we going to do next round? So we take that out of there. You can see when it was left in there. So I didn't show in the video. But there's a little question mark sitting over there. So hang on. You shouldn't have 2 scores. We've got to move this down. So again, we just work out, okay, what's going to happen next round. I'll just be consistent and sorry. Make it E9. Assuming nobody is going to be there. You can see these numbers are updating here. Our brand equity is getting stronger. We're going to make that $80. And look, we'll get a competitor there. Let's move out of the way and go there and then take that competitor out. Is that a better move? Okay, that'll be our likely decision. Okay, we'll end up in that scenario. Okay, that's the breakdown of costs and structures. Are we improving? Price? No. Quality's coming down because we're shifting a little bit clarity. But they're still high scores. They're 80s and 90s. So our index scores are falling a little bit. This would be a concern. So you then go back and revisit that decision. What if we made it $75? Ooh, gee, that looks a bit better for us. Okay, that's sort of helped us on a couple of those things there. And we're hitting budget, that's all fine. So basically that's what we do. We just keep repeating and then go, that's our decision. Let's implement that and see what happens. Okay, so they go to the decision sheet, or you would do that centrally, which is obviously the best approach. And I've just put in our decisions there. and I've made up some other decisions for other teams there. So if we go to the results again, that's all that keeps happening. You can see the team winning at the moment is Team 3. We're sort of mid-place going to this round. Team 6 is in bad shape. And here are our results. We've made 425 for the round. Let's have a look at the situation in terms of the overall map. You can see that we're here, and here. So we hit a competitor in D9. So we go back to this decision. Unfortunately, we have a competitor there. We should have come around 415 or so. So obviously it was slightly better than our direct competitor in that cell, which is good. And we finished 5th of the round, and overall we are now in 3rd place. So I'm sorry, wrong one. And the graph keeps populating. We're Team 1 here. That the important one is this particular one here. There's 10 teams, so we're travelling just into 3rd place, but there are teams well ahead of us. The accumulated profits are also shown at the bottom here. We have sales per team. All the scores are shown. All the index scores are shown there. I'll come all the way down to round 3. We're up to now. You can see we're travelling just in 3rd spot by a fraction, but really in the middle of the pack. There's 2 high performers, a bunch of teams in the middle, and then 3 underperformers. We did it right here, but they're making double the profits we are, and our issue seems to be sales oriented. So basically that's what you keep doing. Students of the profitability of the products, if they go, that's a weak product. The results, financials, okay. They can see. So look at Team 2, round 2. You can see how the other teams are developing their portfolios. So that's all listed for you, and you can see this is round 3. How the market is populating. Round 1, round 2, and round 3. So again, we just go back to planning, and then that's the next decision. Okay, we're going there. This is also a competitive tool. You can have a look at any other team. What's Team 2 doing? What's Team 3 doing? So you can see their strengths and weaknesses as well. So any team we can put in. I think one of the underperformers was 7 and 8. You can see they got lots of reds. We'll go back to Team 1. So you can see what's happening. So this is now populating. It wasn't populating initially because it's off a 0 base when we started the game. But you can see this is percentage change. Our index scores, they're all looking good. But we're not a market share player. That's fine if it's part of our strategy. We're a price premium company, so all looking good. So basically that's how it works. Once the students get a sense of the game, it all makes a lot of sense. At the end of the day, there's only those decisions. How many products we have, where do we position them, price, promotion. Okay, lots of metrics, lots of things we've got to consider to make it happen, but that's basically it. So I hope you enjoy, and hope the students get a lot of value out of it. It only works basically over a course of a semester. You'd need to dedicate multiple sessions to running it, and you probably need to dedicate a whole session just to learning the game. I give the game to students to play with and configure. That's obviously an easier way to get going, and once they get a sense of it, it becomes so obvious and so straightforward. But any questions, let me know.